Hey guys, it's Casey from Jeti USA here with James. We're going to talk about our brand new Jeti Test Drive program. So, James and I are going to ask and answer a few of your common questions about the program itself. First, what is the Jeti Test Drive program?
Okay, well, Casey, over the last about 4 years that we've been distributing Jeti here in the U.S., we've noticed one thing, that once people can actually get their hands on a transmitter, that's when it becomes easy for them to make a decision. And there's a lot of people out there that have been on the fence this year, last year, over the last 4 years on whether or not they're ready to make a switch. And we realized that those guys don't have a Jeti pilot in their area. They don't have an event that they can go to that we're at that they can see us. And the only way for us to get the radio in their hands is or has been for them to buy the radio. And we wanted to change that. We want to make it to where these guys can test the radio at home in their aircraft for a couple of weeks and really get to know whether or not they're ready to make the investment. And we think it's really going to be the thing to push them over the edge.
Okay, so how would I go about utilizing the Jeti Test Drive program?
Well, the biggest thing is going to be to reach out to us here and let us know that you're interested. Hey, I really want to test this in my local area. I've never had a chance to put my hands on one. You'll reach out, you'll talk to myself or one of the other folks here. We'll let you place an order through our system for the Jeti Test Drive program. Once you've placed that order and you've made that small deposit, we'll pack up a radio and a receiver that'll go out to you. Once you receive that, once we see that you've received that package, the clock will start for you. You'll have a couple of weeks. What we want you to do is put that receiver in your aircraft, program the radio, go out and fly. Let us know really, what you think. If you have questions, it gives you an opportunity to have the radio in your hand and ask those pointed questions that you're going to have once you get it. And really, take advantage of what we're offering, give you a chance to really test drive. Just like with a new car, you're not going to go out and spend the money until you've driven that car, and it's going to be the same way with the radio.
Okay, so you mentioned obviously I get a receiver. Does it come with any other accessories?
When we ship the radio out, we're going to ship the radio packaged in the Jeti aluminum case with a receiver. That's basically all that you're going to need to set this up in an aircraft and fly it. We'll include a bind plug just in case you make a mistake and you have to create a new model and rebind the receiver to the setup. But that's all you're going to really need. There will be an instruction manual with it. But with the the videos that we have available and the help that we have here, you probably won't even have to crack that manual.
Okay. So now once I receive it and I do my test drive, how do I actually send it back to you guys?
Okay, we wanted to make it really simple. So what we're doing is we're going to ship the radio out packaged up in its original packaging. And then we're also going to send with that a return shipping label. So when you're finished with the test drive, either you decide right away, hey man, this is for me, you're going to send that one back, get a new one sent out to you right away, or whether, hey, this isn't quite for me, I think I'm going to go ahead and return it at the end of the 2 weeks. You'll package the radio back in the original packaging, slap that return label on the box, drop it off at your FedEx carrier, and then that way we have tracking on the package. It comes back to us, we take care of the rest of it. So.
Okay, and when would I get the security deposit back?
As soon as we receive the product back here, we'll start that process. Usually it takes about 24 hours for that to take hold. So that's what you can expect to see.
Okay. Say, for example, I ship it back to you and something happens with the shipment, like FedEx loses it or damage through that. Am I liable for that? How does that happen?
So long as you make that delivery to FedEx and that package is received by FedEx, what you want to do is FedEx will give you what's called a drop-off receipt. You want to make sure you keep that. Once you have delivered that package to FedEx and it comes into their system, they log that into their system, you're no longer responsible for what happens to that package. That's why we're taking care of sending the shipping and the return shipping notices, because we want that shipped a very specific way. We want insurance on the package so that you're not liable and that we don't take the loss on it. And so we feel it best that we just handle that for you.
Awesome. Now, what happens if I have an unfortunate event and I crash while flying the receiver? What would happen?
Of course, with Jeti, unfortunately, we can't do anything, for the aircraft if that happens, and thumbs happen. We all know that. But basically what happens with the receiver portion is Jeti has a 50% crash replacement warranty. I'd put it in for that. You'd be responsible for half the price of the receiver. Same thing happens if you damage the transmitter while you have it. You're working in the house trying to get your program set up, and your 3-year-old reach up, grab the handle, pulls it off the counter, and it breaks the switch off. Very simple. All the repairs are done here in-house by myself and some of the other staff. And so what we would do is get the radio back here, make the repairs, and charge you only for what was necessary. You wouldn't be liable for the entire system. You know, yeah. If you know you for some reason we can't get in touch with you, you're unresponsive, you don't return the radio in time, or just blatantly tell us you're not going to return the radio in time, then you'd be liable for the entire cost of the radio. But other than that situation, it is simply a deposit so that you have the opportunity to use the radio.
Okay. So now the question I'm sure everyone wants to know, what happens if I don't want to give it back?
No, that's the fun part. That's what we're looking for. And so basically what we would have you do is you would still return the radio and receiver, the test drive set, back to us. We would then take your deposit, apply that to a credit towards the order of the product that you wanted, and then you would just simply pay the balance to finalize that order. So whether that was moving, let's say you test drive a DS-14 and you want to move up to a DS-16, or you test drive a 14 and decide DS-24, it's coming down the road, that's the one for me. In any case, that balance would be applied to a gift card to go towards the new purchase, and we would just take care of that here for you. So.
Okay. Awesome. And is it only eligible on the DS models or the DC in there as well?
No, we will have the availability for the DS or for the DC-16. Unfortunately, the DC-14 is not available in the U.S., so that won't be in the program. It will only be the DS-14, DS-16, and DC-16 that are available in the program to start with. But if you are someone who's interested in flying a tray, say you're coming from a handheld radio in an aftermarket tray, and you think, man, I really want to move up to a tray style radio, we can make that available to you under the test drive program, under the same guidelines and the same rules. So it's very comfortable for you.
Awesome. Well, do you think I missed any questions that might be asked? Or?
No, I think that pretty much covers the program. If you have questions yourself, reach out to me here at the shop. Just send me an email, James at Esprit Model. Send me a sales at Jeti USA. Any of those will get to me. We'll get you the answers that you're looking for. And please, by all means, take advantage of the test drive program.